Well, boys, it's another day. Got more shit to do. It's been kind of crappy the last few days. You can see we got some nasty little clouds overhead. We've had rain the last few days, and it's weirdly chilly outside. It's 70 degrees, and we got quite a wind coming through here. Um, it doesn't show it's supposed to rain today, but it sure looks like it might. Of course, it's that time of year, and if anybody planted corn this year, it's going to be that year for it. It hadn't been real hot yet, but we've had a whole lot of water come down. I think I got an inch and a half almost last night. That's what she said. But anyway, got a few things to get done. I finally got a charger for my battery, so I need to rotate the tires on the old Ford Ranger. And I need to get these out of here, find a place to put them. I have to clean a spot in the barn and put all my power tools now. And I've got oil. I need to change the oil in the Bobcat, change the oil in the tractor, and I got a bush hog that I need to get up out of here, well, out of the barn into the shop and see if I can work on it. Got a lot to get done, and I'll film what I can. I still have a set of gears to build for a buddy of mine. Don't worry, Corey, I ain't forgot about you. Just got a lot going on there, bud. I'm gonna get you built. So got a few things to get done. We'll go ahead and get started, and I'll take you along where I can. Well, as you saw in the last video, you seen my new little toys, and I finally got the fuel tank for this thing. I was going to do a little review on it. Found it on Amazon. Of course, you can't find the factory tank for the Honda generators. They're just not available. And I hate going with aftermarket universal kind of stuff, but it was all I could find. So there's the box that come in. Of course, it's made in China. Whatever. First impressions, pretty nice piece, to be honest with you. Some of it's a little cheesy. The little grommets don't fit that great. But, I mean, I can live with that. The fuel gauge is kind of cheesy, but the fuel cap is pretty nice. Has an O-ring seal on it. This has an O-ring seal. The petcock is not the factory piece, but it's going to give it fuel. And we're going to see how it fits real quick. Well, surprisingly, it fits perfect. Slid in there right nice. All the bolt holes line up perfectly. I mean, perfectly. I'd read a couple reviews on this where, you know, it didn't fit certain models. Of course, it is universal. But I can't complain. Every single hole lines up perfectly. It sits on its little mounting tabs perfectly. I ain't gonna tighten these right now, but she's in there. Wow. Well, that's probably one of the better Chinese pieces I've found. I dig it. I'll get it all installed and get some fuel in it, and we'll let this thing gin for a while, because I had it running the other night just off a squeezed bottle of fuel, and she's running pretty good, but I'd like to run some fuel through it, get it up to temperature, let the oil circulate, and, you know, all that mess. Anyway, we'll be back when she's ginning. Alright, boys, we got the tires rotated. I didn't figure you wanted to watch that. So the little Ranger is good to go. Now I've got the old Bob Kitty in here. Got oil to change. Got to pull the air filter, get a number off it. Got to make sure I got the right oil filter. You know, it's hard for O'Reilly's to look up equipment stuff unless I got a number for them to cross-reference. So we're going to go ahead and get started on that. Alright, these cool little things. if you don't have this little extension hose, and when you drain the oil, it just fills the belly pan. So we got this little guy. Now, I changed the oil when I first got this unit, and I wrote my numbers on here, but you can't see them no more, so it ain't doing me no good. So we're just going ahead and change it, because I don't know how many hours are on it. I know I run the crap out of it. We're just going to go ahead and drain it. And I know the air filter is pretty nasty, so we're going to get one of them for it. And that is some slow draining oil. Anyway, it's probably because I fired it up cold and pulled it in here, but she'll drain. By the time I get down to the parts store and back, maybe it'll have drained. It's not like I'm in a hurry. So now I got my number here, 81068. I can verify that with what I got, and get my air filter number. Let's see, 4222. Good to go. Let me go get some parts, and we'll watch oil drain. Well, the oil's been draining for quite a while now. Ended up washing the Ranger and giving her a quick little detail, and I did get me an air filter. It's installed. This one wasn't too bad, but she'd been in there a hot minute, and I've beat it and beat it and beat it. It was just time for a new air filter. And it turned out the oil filter I had was correct, so we're good there. I don't think y'all want to watch me pour oil, so I'll save you. We'll finish this off. We'll get the tractor in here. Alright, we're done with the Bobcat. We're going to sit here and let this thing warm up for a minute. Maybe the oil will drain a little faster than the Bobcat. And I think I'm due for a valve lash. And I know I need an air filter on this too. I got to look at my notes. I think I changed the fuel filter last year, so we're going to get to servicing this one up too. Alright, fellers. See, it's kind of dark outside. It's 5:30 in the morning. Anyway, still working on the tractor. I got her all serviced. Didn't think you wanted to watch me fill up fluids and lash valves. Anyway, so I always try and check over my shit real good when I service it. You know, make sure all my pins and clips are there and nothing's leaking. All the fluids are good. Check tire pressure if they're not full of water, which these are. You know, stuff like that. I run over the grease points, check wheel bearings, you know, all that jazz. I noticed that one of my links here, you can see how this one's bent. That's how it's supposed to be. Well, the other one didn't look quite right to me. And turns out she's broke. It's a good thing I looked at that, because that wasn't going to last long. And it looks like it's been welded before, but not by me. So we're going to burn this thing back together and get her back the shape she needs to be, because that'd be bad if I went to, you know, pick the bush hog up and it didn't pick it up all the way. So we're going to get that fixed up and back on the tractor. I'll take a little video of it. You know, it would help if I had a ground. We'll hook that up right quick. That's better. that ought to do us. And you know, now's a mighty fine time to try out this generator. Because with my welder plugged in, I ain't got another place to get power. So, we're just going to do this. Well, that's about as fucking minty as it gets. Goddamn generator's shit. Alright. She's welded up. Put it back on the tractor, and then we need to go hook the bush hog up. We got some work to do. So I've had some parts for a while for the Dodge, and I figured what better time than now to put them on. I've got this AFC spring I need to put in here. I got a new positive battery cable I need to build and put on. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Not only that, but now that she's broke in a little bit, I'm going to tweak on the pump a little bit. See if I can tune down the smoke a little bit, bring the power up a little bit, play with the AFC, and I'm going to stick my tools in my truck. I've been meaning to tune on this thing, but every time I get a chance to, I've got somewhere to be in a hurry, and I ain't got time to mess with it. So I think today I'm going to have time to mess with it. We're going to go ahead and do a little tuning on her and see how she feels. All right, boys. Here's what I got rid of. Had this weird little kink in it from being smushed for quite a while. And this end here, I don't know if you can see it or not. See if it'll focus. See the crack right there? Because it's a lead end, it started to crack right there. I was worried it was going to break on me. So, thanks to Dave's Armature Service, got me some new cables. Let me hang this light up here. There's the new positive. That looks so much better. Got it routed all down there to the starter and all zip tied up. My Dell clamps around it, and that's minty as fuck. So that makes me feel a little bit better. Probably ought to have a little better power distribution with a better cable on there and everything. So anyway, I'm gonna get to cranking on the pump. Not gonna quite show you what I'm doing because I don't need everybody knowing my VE pump tuning secrets. So I'm gonna play with it and see how it comes out. All right, she's tuned. You boys and your laptops, I just don't get you. Anyway, new battery cable. Checked all my fluids. I think she's good to go. See how it does. I'm gonna take my tuning devices with me. It does not involve a cord. Anyway, I'm gonna got to get my trailer loaded up. I may have to wait until the dew burns off. It was kind of cool outside last night. I think it was 52, 53 degrees. We got quite a heavy dew set on the ground, and I can't really bush hog in heavy dew. So I may have to wait until the sun gets out and burns that off, because what I'm supposed to be bush hogging is going to be pretty thick. Give you a little update on her while I've got her in here. Got about 10,000-12,000 miles on it now. I've been having it to drive it on the regular. My mom had to borrow my new Ranger that I just put the headers on to drive because my dad's truck's down. And that little guy right there likes to burn the premium fuel, and I'm not paying $5.60 a gallon to drive that thing to work, because a tank of fuel in that thing can get me to work 2 days. Just not doing it. As far as that goes, diesel fuel is $5.40-ish, $5.30-ish, depends on where I get it from. I can get lucky and find $4.99, but I have to go out of my way. But boys, the last time I checked, this thing was knocking down 28 miles a gallon, which is insane. I did weigh the truck the other day. I had to go to the scrapyard. She's a fairly thin 5,600 pounds, which in my book for a 3/4 ton truck, 5,600 is awful light. I know some of these third gen Dodges on, 37s with the mega cab and all that mess are, close to 10,000 pounds. So I'm about $5 grand lighter, which I'm okay with. And that's probably why she moves so good. But anyway, she's doing real good. Cleaned it off the other day. It's about due for another valve lash. I think she's probably broke in good. And I've got one injector return line that's wanting to spit just a little bit on me. And you can probably see it. See that one hole right there that's a little bit clean? It just barely leaves it wet. So we'll try another copper return line, or copper for the return line, see if I can get that little leak fixed. Other than that, I'm super tickled with this thing. She's been doing damn good. I'm so glad to have this thing back. It's about time to put brakes on the poor thing. But you know how it is. Anyway, boys, probably gonna wait a few minutes until all the dew burns off, and we'll get loaded up and go do some bush hogging. Well, boys, I didn't get a whole lot of videotaping done yesterday. And by videotape, I guess that means I'm a VHS kind of baby. Out here feeding the hounds, and of course, Cooper never shuts up. I did get the bush hogging done. Didn't get a lot of chance to film it. It was pretty nasty. Didn't take me too long. I did get the yard deleted yesterday. She looks minty. Got the tractor all cleaned up. Got a few other things done. Got a few more things to get done today, and I'm gonna try and take y'all along with me. See if I can get a little video of it. God, that breeze is nice. Oh, it's so nice. It's in the low 80s with a nice breeze. It's yeah, it's on point. I'm gonna finish feeding up the hounds and freshening their water buckets, and we'll try and get that old box blade in the shop and looked at. I need to get that bush hog in the shop and looked at, and got a few other things to do in the shop. Need to clean the barn out and put some generators in the barn, and oh, just got some stuff to do. Anyway, let me go holler at these hounds and get them fixed up, and I'll be back. I got the tractor all clean. Figured I'd show you. Little girl cleans up pretty good. She's all minty. I even got the finish mower all cleaned up. Looking good. Looking good. So we're going to shoot a little grease in this old girl and put her back in her hole and get on to the next thing. Boys, had to do a little weed control with the old mower. The little setup's turning out to work real nice. I just got done with it. It's kind of hard to spray and hold a phone and drive and do all that mess, so I'm gonna drain the rest of that out. It leaves like this much in the bottom it can't pick up, so ain't no big deal. I've already got the tractor hooked to the bush hog. get it up in the shop and get to working on it. Alright, so you'll remember when I got this tractor, it come with this bush hog. And I'm going to show you the problems I got with it and my solutions that I think are going to work. And I've got, to me, what looks like the exact same style, just by the tin work, as my little one. And I'm going to show you what I've got the differences in. Okay, so you see the bush hog sitting on the ground. One is I ain't got no tail whip. And that piece is bent so hard to the side when you put a tail whip in it, the tire don't ride straight, it rides on its side. So that's one of the problems I got. If you notice, the bush hog's on the ground, and look at the angle of my links. See how they're pointed up? So that's another one of the problems I have. With the 3-point all the way up on this tractor, this thing only comes about 8 inches off the ground, which poses a problem. Not only that I can't pick it up that high, but it's hard to get on a trailer because the bush hog grabs the trailer. So one of the things I need to do is I'm going to take my hookup pins and I'm going to drill this hole out, and I'm going to put my pins here, and then I'll just put a bolt through right here. So that'll lower these arms down quite a bit so I can pick this thing up higher. Now as far as that goes, that's going to put these arms down much lower, and you see my top link points up already. Well, one of the problems I think with this bush hog, and the reason that this is bent so bad, is there is no type of pivot anywhere. This thing is hard mounted. So when you go up a hill, it drags the bush hog into the ground, and there's nothing for it to leverage on because all of this is solid mounted. So what I've done is on this one, now you can see my pins are down low. Now granted, this is for the little tractor. My 3-point doesn't go out far enough to have the pins pointed outward, so they're pointed inward, but that gives me a lower bite on it. The next thing is this little shackle. So if you, here, hang on, let me pull my pin out real quick. All right, so you can see my shackle set up, and you see where it's at. Now, this is a 4-foot, and because it's behind my little tractor, the 3-point on it is much smaller than the big tractor. But when you hook the top link to this, if you go up and down hills, this allows it to swing behind the tractor. It'll float so that you don't end up not only breaking something off the tractor, but burying the tail whip in the ground and hurting it or bending something else. So right now, this one's pinned at the very top. And I think once I move these pins down lower, then I can do almost the exact same thing and build me a shackle off of right here, and this will take the top link and set it down lower. Now, I'm not going to be able to build as big of a shackle as what this is, but you remember, the little tractor, the 3-point, is much closer together. You see the distance I've got between the upper and lower arms. The little Kubota's much, excuse me, much closer together. So, I think that's what I'm going to do. We'll move my pins down, and I'm going to build a shackle up top. That way, if you think about it, if, let's say you run over something, you hit a bump in the rear and the rear tail whip catches it, it'll allow the bush hog to do this over it. Instead of right now, it's hard mounted, and it tries to pick the back of the tractor up, which is not good because it puts a bunch of weight or a bunch of stress on the tail whip, and it puts a bunch of stress on you 3-point. Now, this thing has, it's kind of a goofy setup. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's got a bent little spring right here, and this bolt, it has this little bit of movement. Now, I don't think that's doing much good because this thing needs to move a couple of inches. So, there's a little work I need to do there. The rest of the bush hog's not in bad shape. I need to straighten this out and get a new tail whip for it. I need to move these pieces and create a shackle. That'll allow this thing to float. It ought to do way better. Not only that, but if you notice, it looks like the bolt has eaten into this. That's not good. Probably going to replace this bolt this sleeve, this top section's bent up a little bit. There's some work that needs to be done, but I think by doing those two things, I can take the whole 3-point and bring it down and bite again. I'll be able to pick it up higher, and then with my shackle, the bush hog will be able to float. So it's going to do much better. I noticed not only with it hard mounted, if you nose over a hill, well, because there's no pivot in the bush hog, it picks the bush hog up, which means when you go down, you know, if there's a ridge in something, let's just say this ridge here, if I come up it, it'll mow nice, but as soon as I top it, the bush hog is off the ground by like 2 feet, so it doesn't mow. So the pivot's going to greatly help me out. And the way I set this one up is essentially the way I'm going to set up the other one. I really think that shackle's going to help out a bunch. So I've got a few pieces of material. Got a couple bushings. I grabbed a few different things to see what I can do about making this work correctly. So let's get this thing up to the shop and assess the situation a little better. All right, so here's the deal. This is what I got. I got 2 new pins. Actually, I got 4 because 2 of them are going to go on the old box blade. That's the one off the box blade. She's just kind of bent and tore up, and it was loose. Wasn't even tight. So anyway, what I've got is I've got this little weld-on link. I've got 2 bushings, and I've got this strap of metal with 2 holes in it. So what I'm thinking about doing here is, if this is, I can go up one size in a bolt, but I'm gonna hang this dude right here in the center, cut them bushings down on either side, and then I'm gonna come down with this piece of strap here on either side of it and create me a little shackle that's gonna hang down, I'm gonna say, I don't know, about here. What I need to do is measure how far I'm coming down, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure from here down, and I'll have my shackle length. Because if you look at it, they're almost at the correct angle, at the same angle as far as the lower and the upper go. What you want to do is keep these equal distance. You know, you don't want your bottom link straight and your top link coming down or going way up. You want to keep them parallel, but when you drop both of them down, both of them need to come down the same amount. And that's what I did to the other bush hog, and it works perfect. And I may end up, it depends, I need to measure my top link. The top link depends on how low you can make the shackle. You make the shackle too long and the top link's too long, then when you go to pick it up, the bush hog just kind of does this, and you can never pick the ass end of it up. So I may end up having to shorten the top link a little bit, make my shackle the correct length. Then when I go to pick it up, it'll essentially take the shackle and fold it straight out. It'll get tight, and then it will pick the bush hog up. That's what you want it. When you set it down, then the shackle folds back to where it needs to be, and it ends up being at an angle about like this, and it allows it to float forward and aft. So that's the plan on it. Got some measuring to do, got a little thinking and brainstorming. I may have to go get another Mountain Dew to get the old noodle working correctly. And we'll see where to go from there on it. Before I forget, I done got ahead of myself. One thing I enjoy about some tractors, these had it, but they were all tore up. They'll put you a little hook either on the inside of the lower arms or the outside, and you can hang extra pins on your arm. Well, I just cut a piece of chain in half and weld it to it. I think these are still hot. Yeah, they're still hot. I'll just pick one up with these here pliers. You weld it to there like that. Now you got a place to hang an extra set of pins. I'm gonna weld them on the inside of these arms because these swing out and I don't want these catching the tire. So I'm gonna weld these on the inside. You just stay there, I'll be back. I'm gonna weld them on the inside, that way I got a place to hang an extra set of pins in case you lose them. Boom! Pin holders, both sides. Hot damn. Hell yeah. Alright, let's get this thing detached and keep rolling. There's the star of the show, Miss Kitty. Alright, anyway, I got the arms drilled out, and I don't know if you can see it or not. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Kitty. I'm sorry, Kitty. There, that one was a little crooked. I had to heat it up and bend it. It's not looking too bad right now. I'm gonna have to do the same thing with the other one. I gotta finish drilling this one out so I can get another pin in there, and that pin is just temporary. I'm gonna get a bolt because I don't need 4 pins on the damn thing, but I got that one straight enough to get it bolted back on, so we're doing pretty good. Let me get this other one drilled out and we'll keep on going. Well, after some tacos and some deep thought, I think I got her pretty much straight. Actually looks pretty good. I even, these two pieces right here where they come up, they never bent the ends correctly. So I tightened the crap out of them, then hit them with the torch, relieved them. So they're sitting where they need to be now. And I'm gonna have to let all that shit cool off. It's kind of hot right now. But my plan is, let's see. So the bushings I got for this right here are not going to be the correct ones, and that looks a little crooked, but the inside of that sleeve is way too big for the bolt, so I need to go up one size on the bolt. I think I'm going to take this sleeve and cut the center out of it for my new joint to hang in. So I'll have a little spacer on each side, and then I measured it up from the original mounting hole. Oh, that's still warm. Somebody told me that was warm. Anyway, from pin to pin is 9.5 inches. And from mounting hole to 9.5 inches would be 6.5 from here down. So my shackle needs to be center to center 6.5 inches. And that should get me even on the lowers and the upper. And then I'll still have to play with the upper link. And as far as that goes, I noticed earlier, where'd my link go? Oh, someone makes a cameo in the video again. I don't know how this happened, but bent the shit out of that. So I may have to do something about that. This is a brand new link. But that's what happens when these things are rigid mounted to the tractor. Kitty, kitty. What you doing? What you doing, kitty, kitty? What you doing, kitty, kitty? So I'm about to either get another screw on end or try and straighten it. I don't know. It looks like a cast piece. I don't know how well it's going to straighten. What are you doing? But I got her straightened out. I'm not going to leave those pins there. I'm going to get bolts for it, but they were the size I needed to clamp everything together while I was heating it up, so we're good there. As far as that goes, I still have the tail whip for it. I need to measure it up and get another one coming. And I've got to straighten this out. She's bent. So I got to figure out what to do about that too. But anyway, I may have to go in for the night, sleep on it, because these tacos are weighing pretty heavy on old boy. So anyway, we'll see if we can pick this up tomorrow. If not, I've got a whole bunch of stuff I'm going to compress together, and y'all get a video out of it of a whole bunch of random stuff. And if that happened, this will be the end of it. And if not, well, we'll keep going.